we're almost home. Yeah, we had a good experience though. We did sleep at a rest stop for about an hour or two because I got really tired, right? Because you know I've been driving, right? Let me tell you about the drive, right? Going down 45, you know, the speed limit, the majority of way down to Houston and down Houston, down to Galveston, right? The speed limit is usually 75 unless there's construction. So you know what that means. That means that they was going 5 miles over the speed limit. So yes, we was going 80 and 85 miles. All right. I didn't like going 85 miles. I might occasionally go 80, but there was also quite a bit of road construction. So on 45, the gasoline was probably about, like I said, about $2.29. You know, rarely did it ever go over $2.39. Coming back, right, on 35, the traffic speed limit was usually about 60, 65. The gasoline was higher, right? I couldn't find any gasoline as low as $2.39. Now $2.49, that was considered low. $2.59, a lot of the gasoline was about between $2.59 and $2.79. Kind of surprised me. You know, I was reflecting on some of the things that the police officer has said. Police officer had warned me, you know, that I would get stopped again, you know, because of that light. And that, you know, I was so glad he just told me, he said, look, just drive with your high beams on. And I did. I drove with my high beams on, and nobody gave me any problems. You know, like sometimes when you got your high beams on and people get mad and like, you know, you done obscured their vision, and they flashing their flashers at you. You know, he was right. It's only when you know, you're on these like common roads, you know, where you're all divided by dividers and, you know, and medians and stuff like that. Also, when I woke up, oh my gosh, you know, because I had went to sleep after drinking a whole thing of Diet Coke mixed with root beer. And I had to use the bathroom really bad. So I had a chance to test my little toilet container. And yeah, you know, just a wide mouth container, you know. My window coverings on the sides and stuff, they work pretty good. I still have to do the window coverings for the front. And you know, the back, you know, the back has to be attached in a specific way. I'm gonna have to figure that out. Even though I have brought the Velcros with me, you know, I did not do any work. I did, you know, try it out, like I said. Oh, and another thing he had said, he had asked me, right, the police officer, because, you know, when I was at the beach, you know, I laid out the bed to see how it would work out, you know, and lay on it for a hot second, see if I'd be comfortable. If that was something that I could really possibly do, if I should decide, to stay longer than, just doing a turnaround. Based off of my estimation, it would take probably about 9 hours to get to Laredo. Right. And then, and then I'll be in Mexico. And if a police officer says, hey, it's not a good time to go to Mexico because, one of the boss cartel, was killed, and, they no telling, how they'll retaliate. You could be one of those people they say is, what do they say? At the wrong place at the wrong time. And I was like, that is not it. That's not it. We are not doing that. So we turned around and came back, and that's how we ended up, about 100 miles outside of Dallas. I just got really tired, and I was like, I'm just gonna go to sleep. Right, I'm gonna go to sleep. I'll be able to check to see how the sleeping is in the back. Yeah, he asked me, he said, are you living in your car? I was like, no, I'm not living in my car. I said, I'm kind of doing like that van life thing. I told him, I said, I've been living in my home for 30 years. And COVID just made everything difficult. I'm just now getting out, really. But actually, I had got out. Was it before COVID or during COVID? That's when I had went to Atlanta, then back over to LA, and then back home to Texas. I did that taking the longer way, but I was not sleepy, right? I was up for like about 4 days. By the time, I ended up, staying in hotels, because I would stay in hotels wherever, I landed, which I landed in LA, okay? Nice. So yeah, I'm almost back home, and we got home nice and safely. We got to see the ocean. We got to put our feet in the salt water. We took our walk. We slept. We did everything that we said we was going to do. We did it. And we did it in a condensed version. Now, not everything. No, well, yeah, we did everything we said we was going to do. Well, not really. I didn't get a chance to fish, right? Because every place that was near the fishing, right, it just seemed like you had to pay. And the one place that I came across that looked like I might get fish, I had to do a whole lot of walking just to get down to the water. And then because I was surprised about that, I did not have fish bait. So that didn't work out at all, right? So I didn't get a chance to go fishing. Didn't get a chance to go across the border. But overall, I would say, it was a nice trip. One of the things that I had, picked up on, my status in the city of Houston is definitely not the same as my status here. So I'm looking forward to taking another nap, and then later on getting up and starting